The Adventures of Alfie the Flying Boy. Chapter 1. Once upon a time, in a small American town, there was a curious 9-year-old boy named Alfie. Alfie had a unique pet snake named Rattles. Rattles was a friendly snake who loved to slither around Alfie's neck. One sunny day, Alfie decided to climb a tall tree in his backyard with Rattles wrapped around his arm. As he reached the top of the tree, he accidentally slipped and fell to the ground, hitting his head on a rock. When he woke up, Alfie was surprised to find that he could fly. Alfie couldn't believe it. He quickly grabbed onto Rattles, who had also grown wings, and together they soared through the sky. They flew over their town, looking down at the houses and streets below. They could see people going about their daily lives, and Alfie knew he wanted to use his newfound power to help them. One day, Alfie and Rattles were flying over the town when they heard a loud cry for help. They quickly followed the sound to find a little girl stuck in a tree. The girl was too scared to come down, but Alfie assured her that he would help. Using his new power, Alfie flew up to the tree and gently lifted the girl down to safety. The little girl was so grateful that she gave Alfie a big hug. From that day on, Alfie and Rattles used their power to help people in trouble. They rescued a cat that was stuck on a roof, helped a lost dog find its way back home, and even saved a man who had fallen into a river. Alfie had become a local hero, and everyone in the town knew they could count on him and Rattles to save the day. But as much as Alfie loved his new power, he knew that it was important to keep it a secret. He didn't want anyone to find out about his ability to fly, so he only used it to help people when he was sure no one was watching. Eventually, Alfie's power started to fade away. He and Rattles could no longer fly, but they knew they had made a difference in their town. Alfie was just happy to know that he had helped people in need, and he knew that he and Rattles would always be ready to lend a helping hand, even without the power of flight. Chapter 2. After saving the day in his hometown, Alfie and Rattles continued to live a quiet life. One day, while having dinner with his parents, Alfie was served a plate of broccoli, which he didn't like. But his mom insisted that he eat it, saying that it was good for him. As Alfie reluctantly took a bite of the green vegetable, he suddenly felt a strange sensation in his stomach. Suddenly, he felt a surge of energy coursing through his body, and before he knew it, he and Rattles were soaring through the sky once again. Alfie couldn't believe it. He was flying again. He knew that he had to use his power for good once more. And so, he decided to embark on a new adventure, flying across America to raise money for charity. Alfie and Rattles took off from their hometown and headed towards the East Coast. They flew over forests, lakes, and mountains, making their way across the country at breakneck speed. People all over America were amazed to see a boy and his pet snake flying across the sky. As they reached the West Coast, Alfie had a huge surprise waiting for him. Thousands of people had gathered to watch him land, and they were all there to donate money to charity. Alfie had set a new record for the fastest time it had ever taken to cross America by flying, and everyone was eager to donate to the cause. Overwhelmed by the support of the people, Alfie and Rattles flew back to their hometown, feeling proud of their accomplishment. They had not only set a new record but had also raised a significant amount of money for charity. From that day on, Alfie became known as the Flying Boy, and he continued to use his power to help people all over the world. But no matter how far he flew or how high he soared, he never forgot the lesson he had learned, that even the most unexpected things, like a plate of broccoli, could bring about amazing new adventures. Chapter 3. Alfie and Rattles were flying high above the clouds, enjoying the feeling of the wind rushing through their hair and scales. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning struck them, and everything went black. When they came to, Alfie and Rattles realized that they were no longer in the present day. They had been transported back in time to the age of the dinosaurs. The sky was filled with pterodactyls, and massive herbivores roamed the land. Alfie and Rattles knew that they were in trouble. They had to use their powers to save themselves from being eaten by the fierce predators that roamed the land. But first, they had to figure out how to get back to their own time. With no idea how to get back, Alfie and Rattles set out on a journey to find someone who could help them. They soon came across a group of friendly dinosaurs who were happy to offer their help. The dinosaurs explained that they knew of a magical cave that had the power to transport people through time, but it was heavily guarded by a fierce T-Rex. Undeterred, Alfie and Rattles set out to find the cave. They flew over treacherous landscapes, avoiding the massive predators that roamed the land. Finally, they reached the cave, but sure enough, the T-Rex was there, waiting for them. Thinking quickly, Alfie and Rattles used their powers to distract the T-Rex, while they sneaked past it and into the cave. Once inside, they found an ancient time machine that could take them back to their own time. They quickly set the dials and activated the machine. As they traveled back through time, Alfie and Rattles felt a sense of relief wash over them. They had made it back to their own time, safe and sound. They were overjoyed to be back in the present day, but they knew that they would never forget their adventure in the age of the dinosaurs. From that day on, Alfie and Rattles continued to use their powers to help people, but they always kept an eye out for lightning bolts. They knew that they never wanted to be transported back in time again, but they were grateful for the lessons they had learned on their epic journey. Chapter 4. Alfie and Rattles were flying through the clouds, as they often did, when they saw something strange in the distance. It was a glowing object, hovering in the sky. As they flew closer, they realized that it was a UFO. The UFO was unlike anything they had ever seen before. It was sleek and silver, with strange markings etched into the side. Suddenly, a hatch on the side of the UFO opened, and a small, green creature emerged. The creature introduced itself as Zor and explained that it was from a faraway planet. Zor explained that their planet was in grave danger, as it was getting too hot, and they needed to find a new home. Alfie and Rattles knew that they had to help. They offered to fly alongside Zor's spaceship and help them find a solution. Zor and Alfie landed on Earth and quickly realized that they would need help to save Zor's people. They enlisted the help of some of the smartest scientists on Earth and worked around the clock to find a way to cool down Zor's planet. After much hard work, they finally found a solution. They built massive cooling systems and planted new forests to help absorb the heat. And it worked. Zor's planet began to cool down, and they were able to save their people. As a token of gratitude, Zor invited Alfie and Rattles to visit their planet. They flew back to Zor's home planet and were amazed at what they saw. It was a beautiful world, filled with strange and wonderful creatures. Zor and their people welcomed Alfie and Rattles with open arms and thanked them for their help. They showed them around their planet, and Alfie and Rattles marveled at all the amazing things they saw. Eventually, it was time for Alfie and Rattles to return to Earth. Zor and their people bid them farewell, promising to never forget the kindness that Alfie and Rattles had shown them. Alfie and Rattles returned to Earth, feeling proud of what they had accomplished. They knew that they had made a difference in the universe, and they were grateful for the amazing adventure they had shared with Zor and their people. The end. Do you want to hear more stories? Then hit the subscribe button to follow our channel, so you never miss another daily story.